Hi guys, welcome back to Honey, We're Home. Hey, we're a little late this week, but that's totally fine. We're doing this episode virtually. I've been out of town. Niki's been busy, but we're excited nonetheless.
Yes, very excited to be here, whether it's physically or metaphorically, you know?
We're just looking at you over a camera on Zoom.
Yeah, which is okay. That's the way the world works these days, you know?
As long as we're looking at each other, it's fine.
Yeah, for sure. This microphone is blocking my entire face. Yeah, I'm hoping Louis holds out because he, like I was just saying before this, he loves to, anytime I'm jumping on any sort of remotely important Zoom, he likes to make my life a living hell.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, but then he's an angel when I'm not on those Zooms. So, yeah.
You can tell that your attention is diverted. I mean, I think that it's nice. Like sometimes doing a virtual is nice because you don't have to be in full glam, I will say. But what I learned from us having to do some virtuals like over the holidays because our travel schedules were so misaligned is that I still prefer to be in the studio. Like I think, I just feel like it's a better vibe. Like, so what that we're in the middle of Times Square? Like we kind of like it. We did recently learn that we're like always overstimulated when we go into the studio, and like that is why we're like fighting people off, like trying to like poke our boobs on the street. But like
no, but it is a great vibe. And honestly, I'd rather be overstimulated than under,
bored.
You know?
Nobody likes to be bored. I actually spent my first day at home yesterday for the first time in like a month. Like I was there the whole day. And by the end of the day, I was like, yep, that's enough. That is enough for me. Like I was not
the
vibing.
weather is getting nicer in New York City, in this tri-state area that we live in. And like we go feral when it gets nice. It was like so nice this weekend.
On Saturday,
it was 80 degrees.
Yeah. I came back. I came back. Like I went somewhere to be with my mom for a little bit, and I came back, and the next day it was 80 degrees here, and I was like, this is fantastic. Like I came from warm weather and I got to stay in warm weather, and the vibe in the city was so good. And I was thinking about it afterwards because I kind of was thinking about like how people are making such a big deal of it being warm today and how everyone spent like $300. Like I was watching all the TikToks and I was like, you know what though? When it actually is summer, so many New Yorkers have like vacated the city that like you aren't ever going to get the truly alive New York vibe unless it's that random 80-degree day in spring when everyone is here.
Yeah, Mike and I were talking about that because we were like those spring days when it's not too hot are the perfect New York days. Because honestly, summer in New York does get depressing because you're just like, I'm here because I don't have a Hamptons house, so that's depressing in itself.
Yeah,
but like it's just hot. It get like when the garbage starts to smell.
Yeah, when the garbage on the street
gets depressing. But like those spring warm days when, like you said, the city's alive, those are the golden days, and they really are. And the energy was electric. Like the first warm day after a depressing dark winter, the energy was crazy. I got pizza. I treated myself to a slice. We went to Kest Pizza. If any of you are gluten-free at all or dabble in the gluten-free curious world like I do, Kest Pizza in like lower Manhattan area. I don't even know fucking where, honestly. Downtown somewhere. Find it on Google Maps. It was so good. Yeah.
Where just lower Manhattan, like
I like honestly,
all you can provide is lower Manhattan.
You know, when I'm with Mike, I don't know where I am and I don't know where things are because he just navigates us. It's like really low. It's like
Side-eye low?
Wall Street level.
Yeah, like that is low. I'm shocked. Honestly, when I go down there, I'm like, this city isn't even open on weekends. Like that. Friday is a city of its own that's only open on weekdays in my brain. Like everything closes. Like I go on 9 to 5, it's not open.
I like always find myself there on weekends.
Do you know what I really love though so much? If any of you guys are visiting New York or like just live here, honestly, but like even sometimes I say stuff that I'm like, if you're visiting, maybe don't do this because it's like out of the way. But I love going to Seaport. There's this tiki bar at the end of the Jean Georges building that's on a pier, and it like overlooks into Dumbo. And it's also right next to the pier where the ferry is. So like it is literally one of the only places I personally feel like in New York that's like truly indoor outdoor on the water, and it's like such a vibe. And you don't need a reservation because it's like all first come first serve. You find a little table.
Yeah.
They're servers, but you can go up to the bar. They have the best chips and guac. Like I swear to God, they have the best chips and guac and
I
the
need that
best
now.
margaritas. And John and I realized that like going there on like a summer Saturday, like 4 p.m. from 4 to 7, and then you catch the ferry to Dumbo or Williamsburg, and then you like go to dinner there for like a sunset dinner. It's such
Love
the vibe.
that. I love Seaport. I also love Dumbo, Williamsburg area, even though we
Yeah.
live in Hoboken and it is a 17-hour commute to get there.
Yeah, all the way. Yeah, you're like crossing.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's
love
worth it. I mean, we had our like summer and our like Brooklyn summer last year. I feel like they're just really good. I just like taking the ferry. I think taking the ferry is like so fun. And any type of thing that you can do to like romanticize and be like activity, ferry activity, like that is the vibe.
Yeah. Summer is tough for me because I can't use the excuse of it's winter. I need to like get an Uber anymore. I need to, I have
Yeah, you have to
actually
take
have to
public.
like get up off my ass and take public. And
You're not a fan of that, which is
very
so
close
yeah,
to the
that's hard.
ferry.
Yeah.
Well, we live really close to the ferry that takes us into Manhattan. So I
don't
really
like-
have no excuse.
The ferry is like not even public. Like the ferry is a privilege.
Yeah.
I just saw a TikTok of like the ferry. Like the NYC ferry made a TikTok and they were like, when people act like it's a chore to take the ferry to work. And I'm like, no,
No, it is
seriously.
beautiful.
Like seriously though, you're on the water. Like what else could you ask for?
Mike
Like
romanticizes it. He like doesn't do Insta stories, but like there's the 3 things in Mike's life that he takes Insta stories of: Louis,
yeah.
Rumble in Hoboken,
Confirmed.
and the ferry.
Haven't
And
seen that one yet,
nothing
but
else.
my eyes are peeled.
But that's all that man posts, those 3 things. And not really even me, or like the occasional, like when I'm like, hey babe, can you share my Instagram reel? Cause it's not doing well. And then he'll
Oh
share
yeah, and then he does it.
Yeah. But other
That
than
is
that,
I kind of let the ferry, the workout, and the dog.
yeah, it's usually just Rumble and Louis.
It is nice though. The other thing that is that on the right side of that Jean Georges building on the like on evenings, I guess, or maybe just weekends, like they do like a live sort of like jazz thing out there and they put like an oyster truck out there and they like put out all these tables and it's like a remote bar and it's like oysters and white wine and like jazz and it's epic. Like I'm like, it's literally, there are a lot of tourists there. Like more people that live here need to know about it, in my opinion.
There's a cool concert venue that I've been to down there.
Oh,
too.
yep. It's
Looks
on the
over
roof
the
of
whole
that.
city.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I've been to a Collie Budd's concert there once. It's like reggae. This was like years
Is it
ago.
Cali or is it
I don't
CLI?
know. I should probably know that.
I mean, that's
It's like-
about right. I look at their little chart, and sometimes I'm like, I don't know any of these. There will be like one person I know on the lineup.
We got like free tickets and everyone was, and like I don't smoke weed because I get too paranoid. I'm one of those, but like do when the time is right. Like very few.
Oh, you did that
times.
time?
Oh yeah, like everyone was literally. I like had no choice. Like I think I was like forced by the person next to me.
That would make it worse
so
for
much
me.
fun.
But I would do like the S35, like shrooms or something maybe.
Yeah, we love those.
I just have a hard time. I'm very claustrophobic. I told you like we went to Gov Ball for John's birthday like 2 years ago, and he was like, why was this even an idea that you had, knowing that like you would like pass out if you even like got remotely close to like the crowd for the concert.
Yeah. Wait, speaking of music festivals, I've never been to Gov Ball. Have you ever been to Coachella?
No.
I knew that. I knew that before as I was asking it, but I just
Do
wanted
I
to
look
ask
like
it.
someone that's been to Coachella?
No, yeah, you don't strike me as Coachella, but you would think I would have gone.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's kind of on brand for me, but never have been. because like, I don't know, my friends were just never into it. Like it wasn't like a college thing. It wasn't a post-college thing for me.
My friends never went.
Yeah. Somebody just asked me recently, like if I'm going this year. And I was like, do I fucking look like I'm going this year?
Right. Like I don't mean it
32.
like, yeah, like I don't know how to describe the vibe, but like, and I don't mean this in like, I only have to have the nicest things in life, even though like, yes, like I appreciate those. Like,
Yeah.
you won't catch me at Coachella unless I'm in the VIP tent. And I really, really
but
mean
you
that
can
with
say
my
that.
whole chest because if I can't find water, which I've heard over and over again from like Coachella people, I will start a riot. Two,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to sit down, and John like doesn't sit on the ground. He's like bougier than I am. So if the ground is where we're sitting, like this man is passing out, falling over before he sits down. And three, again, claustrophobic. So like I need to be
Yeah.
gated away from people, or I will like have panic attacks. So like if I ever got invited to like a VIP tent and they were like, oh, like there were gonna be places to sit and this is how many people. Yeah, like okay. And like, they were,
Yeah.
like I just it's so many things that are against the nature of my total being that I am not chill enough in any aspect of the word
To just do.
to be able
you
to
can
vibe
say
it
that
out.
without sounding whatever. Like we're too old for Gen Pop. That's for sure.
I would not be able to vibe it out. I'd be such a complainer. You would be like, I really regret inviting you.
Yeah, I always say that too. I'm like, if some brand gave me this like magical experience and said like, we're bringing you out to Coachella, you VIP experience, sure, would I do it? Probably, maybe, but I would never just like, yeah, go and be with everybody.
I'm also somebody who like I really love music. I do.
Yeah,
And I
would love to
love
see.
concerts. But again, there's the festival of it all and the crowds. Like I'm telling you, like hyperventilation, like real level, like pass out panic attacks. Like I lose oxygen. So it just seems stupid. But if I'm in a hot climate, I really like I really specifically am like would like to be looking at a body of water. So like if I'm going to Palm Springs, I want to be by the pool. So like to be in a place where like it's just dust and dirt for hours and hours on end, knowing that you're like so close to somewhere that's like pools and lounge chairs.
No,
I think
And I
that would
respect-
trump the music. I'd be like, I don't know.
I respect the people who are like going for just the music, like, and they don't care what
You
conditions.
have to be
they
like a
don't
big,
care.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm into the music. Am I that into the music? No, I agree. I need water, both in ingesting and my body in said water.
Yeah.
I do know. Like I follow the influencers and stuff that go to Coachella, and there are ways to do Coachella like as an adult in your 30s. I'm not saying like when I say we're too old, I'm like joking around. Obviously, like there are ways to do it right in your 30s. I just like I'm too lazy to like take it upon myself to make that a priority in my life right now. And
To be fair, the people that I see that do it in a way where I'm like, that feels good. It's like they do it in moderation. Like they go for like one day or like one night. And then it's like, well, we live on a totally different coast. So like, are we really going to fly all of that way to the west? Then it gets, I think that's part of us being too old is that we get like really realistic about it. Like for you, you're like, well, if I'm going to take a 5-hour flight to California, then I'm just going to go see my brother and my sister-in-law and their kids. Like I'm not going to, go to Palm
trek
Springs
out
and then
to Palm
drive
Springs.
for like one night.
during a busy weekend.
If
I
you
will
just-
say,
If you lived there, you could do it probably.
I feel like, yeah, that definitely, like if I were on the West Coast, I'd probably already like be going to Coachella. But Stagecoach does look like more of our vibe.
I think Stagecoach looks
Never
really
been.
cool. I think all the music festivals look cool. Like even like Ultra, like I'm not an Ultra girl at all, but like I like watching the content. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just seeing people do stuff that they like in a specific niche. I think it's so entertaining to me. Like I really like it. I just like Bonnaroo seems cool to me, but then like I just don't know.
all those things. I like Ultra. I could have seen myself going to like right out of college, like how Alex Earl and her girlies are going. Like I could have seen
I could
myself.
see you doing that. Like you
I'm
have, like,
surprised
kind of-
we
yeah.
never did. I'm actually surprised my friend group never like got up off our asses and did that. But I just like, if I were to go now, again, I would almost like need Alex Earl's experience somehow. And I would need a group too. Like Mike and I aren't just going to like take each other to Ultra for a fun little date.
We've reached that age where like
us doing that.
comfort over everything else. So like if we're not going to be comfortable, we're kind of like,
I wish you watched, or I wish you were currently watching White Lotus season 3 because Parker Posey says that. You've probably seen the meme where she's like, I just think I'm not meant to live an uncomfortable life. And that's truly like, I resonate. That's me when it comes to.
If it's not comfortable, I'm going to be like, what, why? I spend like all my time being uncomfortable. Like I would like trips should be comfortable. I'm at the point, I think this is like, a lot of friends our age are like this too. It's like, we're young enough to do really fun things, but we're also old enough to be like, we're trying to save up to go on specific trips. So for example, like if we saved up and went to Amsterdam, like I would look up if there were any artists playing in Amsterdam and like go to a concert while I was in Amsterdam, or like go to a concert while I was in Paris. Like, I would, if I'm going to spend $600 on a flight to LA, then I'm going to be like, well, I guess I could spend $600 on a flight to London or Paris or whatever it is. And then have this new experience. It's like fun. And then like do a concert while I was there. I've thought about that before.
I am itching to travel. I don't know if this is something I need to like work out with my new sort of therapist. I'm doing this like therapy program thing I told you about. This is like something I've always felt, and I don't know if any of you can resonate, but I get like FOMO from traveling so bad. I'm sure we all get that. Like when we see other people traveling, we get jealous, we get mad at our own lives. Like that has always been a thing for me. But it got bad, especially like it gets really bad on the weekends getting towards the summer, because I'm especially living up here in an apartment. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm grateful for everything we have and will always be. But I get this like weird itch where like weekend hits and it's a Saturday. And if we don't have fucking amazing plans, God forbid, which like is okay to not have plans. Like I need to keep in mind, it would actually do me some good to take a chill pill and not have shit to go to every 5 seconds. But I get this like itch where I'm like, why aren't we looking forward to a trip to Europe right now? Why aren't we in Europe? Why aren't we here? Why aren't we there? Why? Like when it's sunny outside and I am in my apartment, that is when I go ape shit. And
I think everyone's like that, but I think it's because I mean, I think everyone is like that. I think New Yorkers are like that a lot. Or people
then it
that
makes
live
me
in New
sound
York
like a
around
privileged fuck. Like why should I have a
I don't
crazy
think it's
trip
because
every?
of that. I think, well, for me personally, I've thought about this before because I really feel that way too. I think if it's really specifically like when it's hot, like when I'm traveling a lot for things that are like not, like at this age, we're always traveling for other people's stuff. Like you're never traveling for like your own thing. So like it's always for other people's stuff. And it always like for me, I'm like, oh, it's like December, January, February. I'm like, I just want to go home because it's so cold. And I'm like not trying to like just keep hopping around to different places. I just want to be at home. And then during the summer, you just want to be somewhere else. And for me, I'm like, I think I just always want to be by the water. And like, we don't have access to that here. So like the best that I can do is go sit on the Hudson. And I literally was thinking about this in our conversation earlier about a nice day. I was like, I'm going to start a petition for the Hudson to like get Wi-Fi. Like I can't go sit out on like a lawn chair or a beach towel on the Hudson and work because there's a Wi-Fi. Like I've tried several times with like my hotspot and it just doesn't work. It gets so hot. You're in between these buildings and the city is so expensive. So like anything that you go outside and do is so costly that you almost, and everybody's outside. So it's still like impossible to get a reservation.
Yeah.
And then you add on the fact that like everyone had the forethought to like do a some type of little trip with their friends that they're looking forward to or with their family. And like,
or my thing is everyone I'm meeting, talking to, parents have a beach house. Like everyone's parents have a beach house to go to.
I think it's
like
environment for us. I think it's comparativeness and environment. I think it's cost of environment. I think it's heat and like low accessibility to like things that we deem as like summer appropriate. Like there are so many times I'm like, I just want to be on a boat today. And it's just bizarre that like I live right next to the water and that's not a possibility for me unless I can pay somebody like $5,000 on a Saturday to get on a boat.
to take
but
me
like
out.
if I drove 2 hours away, I could. Or like if you're in Chicago, like they physically like have a beach and boats and like
I'm gonna try to get in front of it now and just like plan whether it's, trips here and there. I mean, obviously I would love to again, I have friends that my friends aren't like real people. Like I can't compare to them because some of my friends just like travel literally once a month to a cool new international destination.
That's
And
so
I can't
nice.
like use that as a normal comparison. So like, but I'm just gonna plan things that are either like a little fun local plan or a trip. And I'm going to plan it now. I feel like I'm already behind just so I don't get in that rut. Like, cause yes, like it is okay to not have plans and I'll make sure I have some weekends where I don't have any, but I know myself. And if my whole summer is just like, if I have too much downtime, I'll freak the fuck out,
I think I definitely get like that. I think it's very normal. I mean, honestly, I don't have a car. So even if someone's like, you can drive outside of the city and do this, it's like, okay, then rent a car. Like there's definitely just a barrier to entry to getting outside of the city even. And then a lot of people here are from Jersey. So then that's just like a stone's throw away from like going to be with their parents for the weekend. And maybe that's on the beach, or maybe you have all of these friends from home that like still rent a house on like the Jersey Shore or whatever. And like, that's a huge thing people still do. So it's just interesting. I get like that too. And I don't know. It's definitely just we have to plan ahead more than we're used to.
Yeah. And the past couple summers, like you said, the like planning around other people's things, I have had friends that have had these like fun international weddings that like have forced us to plan a whole great trip around. Like London was last summer for my friend Carly. The summer before was like Ruby was Israel and we did a whole thing around that. So like this summer, none of my friends are getting married in another country. So now we just have to plan our own trip. And then also, this is definitely a very relatable thing that I know a lot of you women out there can relate to. Why is it that like we always want to travel more and the men, like you would think Mike works as the Secretary of State for the United States because he's like, I can't take off work. And I'm like, I get it. Like I have a lot more flexibility given my career circumstances than he does. But I'm also like, you can't. Like
Men are always, I feel like I see that all. It's like, we can always do it, but they can only do it like 50% of the time.
Yeah.
I think it's an uncomfortability. If once you take all the other factors out, like, okay, there are certain times of the year where like they really can't not work. And I'm like, I'll think about it where I'm like, oh, well, like if I was doing everything but the dress this one week, or like we have bridal fashion week, or like if there is like something that that it's a big period where you have to be on site for, you likely wouldn't choose to not be there for it. However,
like I know September is very busy for Mike because football season, but it's I will bring that man a time frame for a trip and he'll be like,
that
that's
works.
MLB, but that's March Madness, but that's, and I'm like, there's always going to be a sports season. Okay.
There's always going to be. I think it's more like comfortability to like say to your like upper management, like I need to take off for this reason and that's got to be good enough for you.
Because my wife will leave me. Like that is the reason.
It's so interesting to me that's, I mean, I feel like John has, because we always have to fly to our family, I kind of like realized that that's what was going on, is that he was just like scared to ask, because at some point he actually started to have to ask, and he would tell me he was like never scared to ask, but like from where I sit, it kind of looked like it. And then when he actually had to start to ask for those days for either like work from home or take off, because it was the only days that it worked for us to fly somewhere or like come back, every time they're like, okay, that's chill.
Yeah, they're like, that's
like they don't care, And I'm like, I think that you care more than they care.
Yeah, they build it up.
And that's like a pressure thing for them. Like, You know, other people are like, you're a hard worker and you do well. Like, you care more about what it looks like for you not to be there than they care.
Yeah. Well, and this is why, like, this is why sometimes I grab a girl and I say, girls trip, because fact of the
Easier to
matter
plan.
is, yeah.
I just can't.
Bye. Peace out. Literally, that was me in Spain last summer. Girls trip. And then I met up with Mike. It was actually the best. I highly recommend that. If anybody wants to just like get away for 2 full weeks, do first portion as a girls trip and then make your husband meet you.
And then do it that way.
Yeah.
That sounds so nice. Okay, speaking of trips, we have an email and it is wedding planning bachelorette related. And I think it's kind of interesting because it's like actually a situation you couldn't avoid and just sort of sucks. So the title is Advice for a Bummed Out Bride. It's not too long, guys. I feel like we can get through it quickly in like 3 minutes probably. Okay. Hi, Caroline and Nicole. I'm getting married this fall and started my wedding journey with my 6 closest friends as bridesmaids. For the sake of their privacy, I won't name names, but in the last month, bridesmaid A has battled some serious personal issues that may prevent her from being a part of the wedding. Bridesmaid B and I had a very stupid drunk argument where she said some really nasty things to me and has ghosted me ever since. And as recently as last night, bridesmaid C told me she cannot come to the bachelorette trip. While bridesmaids A and C both have totally valid reasons to take a step back, I'm talking life-altering news and medical concerns, I still feel a sting of sadness for what I thought my wedding and bachelorette party would be. There are some of my best friends, and I feel so sad to not have them by my side throughout the process. That being said, I'm so grateful for everything my maid of honor, sister-in-law, and other bridesmaid have done for me. And while I will absolutely be content and happy to have the 3 of them by my side, I can't help but feel a little shortchanged. I've been on small bachelorette trips with small groups before, and I've found that unless everyone is already part of the same friend group, it's a little awkward. Should I invite other friends who I'm not as close with just to add numbers? Should I suck it up and be grateful for what I have? I'm just feeling lost in the midst of changing friendships and navigating the next chapter of my life. I hope this does not come across as ungrateful for the friendships and relationships I have. The expectation versus reality of my wedding has just been hitting really hard. Okay. Then she listed I have thoughts generally, but she listed her questions for the pod, which are 1, what would you do in this situation? 2, how can I make my batch fun if it does end up being me and 3 girls who don't know each other at all? And 3, how do you deal with these terribly low feelings during what is supposed to be an extraordinarily joyful time? Any advice? Thanks, honeys. A bummed out bride.
Oh, no, I feel her pain because I feel like especially like this isn't uncommon to hear this day and age because of how we are all older. I mean, I don't know how old she is, but like the older you get, I feel like the general consensus is the more your friends like, or the less your friends kind of like celebrate you sometimes just because people are already married, especially if you're one of the last ones. I hear this all the time from brides and people. They're like, you know, I celebrated all these people and now all of a sudden it just feels like now that I'm finally getting married, people aren't able to celebrate me for this, that, and the other because, you know, different life things come into the situation. So I feel bad for her because that is like, it is just kind of like she said, her expectations for this time and this bachelorette. She probably was picturing like everybody being able to go and everybody, you know, being so excited. I mean, I do feel bad for her.
I agree. I mean, I also think it's important to like note that while it looks different for everybody, planning a wedding is a long process and it really involves so many people that I think most brides at some point in the way feel like they had an expectation that didn't meet reality, whether it's like regarding a certain family member or a certain relationship or just details. Like, I mean, there have been instances where like you've had to change venue and like during COVID, everyone was like changing their date and then they had to like uninvite people. Like this happens a lot where I feel like your expectation surpasses reality and you feel like you're only going to get to do this one time. And so you like you hold on to that. Like it's not like you're gonna get to redo it later. Like it's not like it's like, oh, it'll be better the second time. Like it feels like, okay, well, this is it. So I just think like in general, allow yourself to be upset and like really be upset. Otherwise, when push comes to shove in her situation, like on the physical bachelorette trip and in other people's like on their physical wedding day, like you'll find yourself being a little passive aggressive if you didn't deal with the fact that you were upset beforehand, because you've got to just like get it out and let it out and not let it like really eat and fester inside of you. And then you go on this trip like almost prepared to have a bad time and also like looking for issues.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's what I was going to say. That's a good point about like going on this trip, preparing to have a bad time. That's what I was going to say about that. So she asked, like, what would you do in this situation? To answer that question first, if it were me, I mean, I don't know her friend dynamic and whatnot, but I would. When she mentioned like, should I invite more just to have a bigger dynamic? You could totally do that. I did that for my personal bachelorette. I had people that weren't in my bridal party that I'm just friends with that honestly just like added to the vibe, and I'm very more the merrier. So I'm always a fan of that. So like, don't overthink that. If that's what you think you might want to do for the overall vibe, then
do
go
it.
forth and do it. Not weird at all. However, I learned this term in my new therapy program. Catastrophizing is like something we do when or also fortune telling. It's like basically when you like build up a scenario to like go a certain way and not go as well as planned, but that's just you and your brain like doing that, and it's like you have no facts to back up that it will be like that. So like, I'm not trying to gaslight her and tell her like, just like, it won't be awkward with the three girls if you just go with them that don't know each other at all. But I was going to say, like, you set the tone for the fun of your own bachelorette and your own trip. So if you're having so much fun, even though those three girls don't know each other, if you do decide to go with just them, it might be so much more fun than you think. Like if you're just having a good time, they'll have a good time. They're there to celebrate you. Like you might just be like kind of thinking in your head right now that it'll be awkward and it won't be that fun, but it might go a lot better.
Don't like expect the worst.
Yeah.
I also think like I'm someone who's the more the merrier too. Like I would ask myself like, is there a reason that I didn't invite more people in the first place? And like, is that a good enough reason that I should really stand behind it and just like work with what I have now? And if you really think that there's no reason you didn't invite more people, like you just didn't think about it, like sure, like go ahead and invite more people. But in the case that it is like just the three people with her, like I do think there are things that you can do. Like I'm a big believer in like getting people to meet each other as much as possible, like beforehand. So like if there's any way, shape, or form that like you might have a friend come visit you and, then you make an effort for them to meet like the other person, that you're friends with here or the sister-in-law or whatever. It's like, see if you can pull some strings for people to like meet each other before, like if it's possible. And then if it's not, and even so, I think being really intentional about what the first night of the bachelorette trip is, like it should really be something that's like bonding. Like instead of going with this like, kind of like social media craze like style of bachelorette itinerary, like you should really sit down and be like, what do I know about these individuals? What do I think that they would all enjoy doing? And what are really intentional ways to like get to know more about each other? And then like lean into that. Like if everybody likes games, then like you need to come up with a game. Like instead of it being a game where like you can see who knows everything about you, like we play that a lot on bachelorettes, like write down what you think, the bride would do in this situation. Yeah, like do something that kind of exposes the personality about everybody. And people make attachments the first night of a bachelorette trip and they become friends with new people. I always become friends with someone new and attached to someone and like have a wonderful time with them and leave being like so excited to see them at the wedding. I mean,
I love all that. I think that's all a great idea. I agree with like the in-person thing. I also think a lot of the pre-trip bonding can be done by simply throwing them in a group text and help, not like giving them work that they don't want, but like
Give them an
asking
assignment.
them-
No, fully. Say
Yeah,
you
like
guys take this and they'll get on a Zoom call together and figure it out.
Or even just having them like weigh in on the plans will get everybody all excited together and like, yeah, just like getting them excited for the trip and getting them like talking in the group text. There's a lot of power with a good group chat. Like that's truly, I'm thinking back to like all the trips I've been on. Like I become friends with people through the group chat before I even meet them. Like,
which to that
if they say
point,
something funny.
do you,
like,
do you remember in COVID, we would do like honestly, like Zoom wine nights with our friends.
Yeah.
Like you can even do something like that. Like put everyone in the chat. There aren't that many of you. Like usually that just simply doesn't work because how in the world are you going to find a time that like 15 people are free? But like if it is 4 people, like just like put them in a Zoom like wine night type of chat and be like, pre-bachelorette meeting where you can like ask them types of questions like what do you want to do, like should we do this day. Like a smaller group means people get like more autonomy, more say, and it's less stressful for like the bride and the maid of honor to navigate that because they're not hearing like 15 different opinions, they're just only hearing like a few. So like doing like a pre-meeting trip, like when we plan our friends, we're getting on meetings and drinking wine to plan our friends' bachelorettes. So like do it all together. And then since you're the common denominator, you also be in like the chat and you guys can all sort of like break the ice that way. And I feel like that's very helpful. Seeing how people talk with like their mannerisms comes across better than just reading their text sometimes because, you know, some people are not as like friendly over text as they are like in real life. So you don't want to like have any bad vibes.
Yeah. I just think also like she can, just to make it better for like if it does end up being just the 4, take advantage of that small number.
I was gonna say reservations. Like,
you don't get the cool reservations. You can do something like, I just feel like nicer and more like
one cabana for a beach day. Like
you don't have to do like a big pool party in Scottsdale. You can do that too if you'd like. But like, I don't know. I would probably like grab 3 friends and go to like somewhere cool that you wouldn't typically go with a huge group. Like, I don't know where that is, but I don't know why Napa's coming to mind.
You can do like an apartment. Like if you wanted to go somewhere cool, like, okay, this is where I also think too, where like she would know this because she hasn't been planning something for like 15 people, but there are certain constraints that like she's just bypassed. So like housing is so difficult for a large group.
Yeah.
Housing is so hard. Like location of it, cost of it.
Hotel room. They could get
one hotel room,
really nice
one
hotel like suite and split it between the 4 of them.
If you were doing something crazy like going to Lisbon, like you can get one apartment Airbnb, like a 1-bedroom apartment Airbnb and do it. Like same thing if you were like doing New York or like Napa, it could be like a small bungalow. Like the houses in Napa are so pricey, especially for like a large group. Like things get easier.
I would almost reach out to the group, and if they're down for this, like this might cost a little more, but in a good way. I would almost be like, hey guys, since there's only 4 of us, what are your thoughts on treating this more of like your vacation? Like, yes, still my bachelorette party, but like a really nice vacation to treat ourselves. And that way, like, because a huge 14-person bachelorette, you're literally just like you're getting by. Like you said, you're trying to like get an Airbnb for everybody. The transportation is so
find
hard.
a boat that fits everybody.
Right. Like, but with 4, take advantage of that and be like, why don't we treat it more like a girls' vacation that we all like we do a spa day one of the days, or we do,
or
I don't know.
To your point, doing that, except instead of making it cause more for the bridesmaid, because like again they don't really like know these other like girls, as the bride you probably can give something nicer because you have less people.
Yeah,
but like you could gift like like the way your budget gets just split when you have so many bridesmaids, it really is so challenging. So like if you say I have 3 people going, like maybe I actually can afford to do a massage for each person.
That would be a good way to set the tone for all of them. And
like you gift them that, and like that's you can do something like really, if you think about it, like you can do something nicer because you have less people going. And so you're like, okay, and now think about what you want to do and what would be in your budget. But yeah, like the massage I just think that could be that could make
it as a way to treat the 3 of them versus like when you have a 14-person bachelorette, you're like what, you get them each like a custom towel that costs like $80 per I don't know. Like you are shilling out so much money to like gift them something. And even if it's like a little gift bag, it adds up when it's 14 people.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, it gets expensive so quickly. I think too, like one thing that I think is maybe a little controversial, but like from my experience, I like when we went on my bachelorette party and it was in Puerto Rico, the room I stayed in, like 4 people could stay in, and it was nice and it was big and it was like, but it was kind of like one big room. And so 4 of us were in there. And I always hated not being able to stay with my other friends. Like still to this day, I think about it because I'm like, how much do I love being in the same room with people? And you just bond with people so much when you're in the same
staying
room. So like, I would really take into account that the closer the quarters, honestly, like the better a little bit. Like if you want people to bond and spend time with each other and not retreat to their own separate rooms and sort of like be like, I don't know you and I'm not going to be forced to get to know you. Like I'm going to separate.
Louis loves that idea too. He's letting us know verbally with his very loud piercing bark. Please, honey. He really likes, okay.
I do think though, yeah. I mean, I know people like their space, but like if you're in a nice scenario where you're not like crammed into a hotel room, I definitely think like, yeah, because those are the late night chats. Those are like the waking up and seeing who else is the early bird and like getting up with them. And like, those are the like getting ready in the same bathroom moments.
The worst is on a big bachelorette, or like any group trip, any group scenario, whatever, there's always a dynamic when like, you know which one is like the fun room versus which isn't.
Yeah.
Or even like at a dinner, like you know which one is the fun
side of the table. Yeah.
And which isn't, or the fun side of the table. And if you're ever on the non-fun side of the table, or in this case, in the non-fun,
and you're a fun person.
And you're a fun person, it gets exhausting. But like it just sucks because you're like, they're having so much fun.
And now you guys all get to be on the fun side of the table. Like John and I were at a birthday party, like a birthday dinner a while ago, and we got stuck on the non-fun side of the table, and we literally were nudging each other under the table the whole time. Like I texted him, I was like, we're on the wrong side of the table. We're like, who sat us here?
At a dinner, I've realized this, truly seating is so important. It makes or breaks your whole entire experience. Who you're sat with.
Yeah.
Sat next to.
So I think in this case, you guys all have to be like in the same room type of like sweet vibe. And then you're forced to have those memories together. Like nobody gets to be isolated. Nobody gets to self-isolate. Sometimes that is like a problem. And I think that those things will help.
So much easier for them. I'm already jealous of this trip if they do only 4.
Transportation is going to be so easy.
That's the thing. Like my bachelorette 14, I think we had maybe more, and people were getting like stranded. It's like, it's literally in Mexico. We were like leaving girls in downtown Tulum. Like, it's a mess. Like, I feel for you, but I would try to look at the positives of the situation, whether more people do come, less people go. It's going to be so fun either way. I know it's not what you expected, but like try to look at it as a blessing. Like it sounds like bridesmaid B, the one who got wasted and said really nasty things. Like that happened for a reason, honey. You don't want her there.
You don't. And also I was going to kind of agree with you and say like, I think that you should just have a really good cry about it and then pivot, like get it out, be upset, and then be like, okay, I'm pivoting. And like, this is how it's going to be so great. And this is the approach and perspective that I'm going to take. And I'm going to like go head first into like doing these specific things that I couldn't do otherwise. But then also I kind of was like, I wonder if she has a little animosity or like unresolved hurt about the bridesmaid B thing. Like, I don't know how close they are. And it sounds like bridesmaid B is embarrassed to reach out because she's the one that said nasty stuff. And like, if I had a therapist, I would actually like, I wouldn't just reach out to bridesmaid B though. Like I would go to my therapist and be like, okay, here's a scenario, like how close or not close we are. Can you help me decide whether I have unresolved feelings about like not having her there because of a stupid fight and if I'm going to regret it later? Or if like this happened for a reason and just like let it lie so that she has some closure. That one she doesn't have as much closure on, but I don't
She
I
said
don't have.
she's ghosted her ever since.
Yeah, I think it's because she said mean stuff and is embarrassed.
Yeah, but I don't know the full extent of that
Right.
situation, but I ain't going out of my way to get somebody who like said really rude shit to me and nasty things and
come,
then
yeah.
ghosted me, you know?
It just
I
depends
don't
on how
need
close
you
they
as a
are.
friend that bad if you're gonna be like that.
I mean, this girl might have had like other red flags too.
Yeah.
I would just have a good cry about it, sort of being a different thing than you thought it was going to be, pivot, and then lean into all the cool things it means you get to do. But I do think like you just have to ask yourself, and it's a question only you can answer. Do I have unresolved feelings about bridesmaid B not coming? And are they going to still kind of eat at me throughout this process? And if that's true, then I would just like talk to your therapist about it for a session and be like, either get closure that way so you could just like shut it down and move on and like pinpoint the other sort of red flags of the friendship and like really truly feel like it's better she's not there, or like if there's a different solution. But I wouldn't want to go in with that being like on the back of my mind, like, are they looking at our Instagram stories, are they like doing this, like, you know, like that weird obsession.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. I think like to this listener, you're going to have the best time. You're a cool person who's attracted amazing people in your life. Keep that in mind. As long as you're having fun, that is all that matters because this is about you. So be a little selfish, do what you want. And yeah,
I agree.
I was going to say something else really impactful.
I want to follow up. I hope, maybe you can email us when, I don't know how far out your trip is, but maybe you can email us and let us know how it goes or like what you decide to do. I kind of want to know.
Yeah, I was going to say, I want to hear from other listeners and whatnot. Like, is this something that you are dealing with in your 30s? Because I have seen like TikToks of people being like, I'm the single friend right now. I'm shelling out. Apparently, like there should be something called like the single tax, or there is something called the single tax, where basically like if you're the single person, you're paying so much more to like go to these weddings because you don't have a plus one. So you're just paying for the hotel rooms alone. And then when these single people do eventually, take the next step and get married, like they just feel so shafted and it's so not fair. Like, so if you're listening to this and you're in a relationship, just like make sure to try to treat the people getting married later in life with the same enthusiasm and respect as you can.
I agree.
Not that this bride definitely is, like she could be young, but
we say to people that we were like, you get what you put out. So like, if you want someone to be excited for you later, then like put good energy into their thing now. But it applies both ways. Like if we're all married, like then we need to put back out what we were given. So like remember, if somebody celebrated you, that you need to celebrate them too. Like it goes both ways. One thing, I don't know if people do this, but like I think it should be done often regarding the like single person tax, at least for like wedding gifts. One thing that my high school friend group does is we like tend to go in on one larger gift for our friends, like for the wedding registry, but we like divide it up per person, like including the spouse. So like it would be, if it's $50 a person, then it's like I'm sending 100 because I'm sending 50 for me and 50 for John. And then if I have a single friend, like, and it's not from it and it's only from them, it's like they're sending 50. So like,
so everyone's paying 50.
Everyone. Yeah. So almost like I'm like, oh, I have like a married person tax because like I'm just paying, double. But it doesn't make sense for like them to pay the same amount as two people are paying collectively.
Yeah, I agree.
So I would divide it. I would encourage your friends to do that.
I think it was Tinks who posted like, I'm always the fun single friend. She went to like 13 weddings in 1 month or something insane. I forget, or 1 year, I guess. So, she was just like, it's exhausting being the single friend. Like you're like the single party fun friend at all the weddings.
You have no excuse to leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I guess we should talk about that soon though. That's a good point. Okay. Well, guys, always feel free to email us because we like these types of things, and hopefully that helped. We hope you have a really good day, though. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Okay, take out Louie. I'm gonna. Yeah, we have stuff to do. We have ads to record.